Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness, a daily podcast devoted to spirituality and self-help. If you're new, I want to welcome you. If you're returning, welcome back. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about accepting change. Change is something that can be very scary. Change is something that most people resist because it involves the unknown. But the fact is that changes in life are inevitable. And if your soul is really going to learn and grow, you have to experience change. So what I want to talk to you about today is not necessarily that you're going to be changing, but how do you accept the change and move through it gracefully? Because you have choices in life. Every decision you have is a choice. And you can choose to embrace the change and just go with the flow, or we can resist it and we can make it way harder than it really needs to be. And the choice is yours. So what most people do is they resist the change. They don't want the change. I don't want my life to change because I'm comfortable and I know how everything's going to work out. I'm able to predict my whole life, and that is safe. And that's where I want to stay. I want to stay safe in my comfort zone. The problem with that is, you may feel safe, but nothing really truly fabulous or amazing ever happens to us when we're stuck in our comfort zone. People might say, I would rather just live a medium, happy life with nothing happening to me. And I guess I can sort of understand that. But also, how boring would that really be? I mean, who wants to just live an ordinary life? That's not really why we came here. We didn't come here to just become stagnant and stuck in lives that are just, okay. So if we want amazing things to happen, we have to be open and willing to change things. And sometimes change happens because we initiate the change, but sometimes change happens because it's initiated around us. Now, I say this all the time, and I truly believe it. If the universe thinks that you aren't where you're supposed to be, if you're not on your path, if you're stuck in the same patterns of behavior, the universe will do things to move you. And I like to call them tower moments, where it feels like the carpet gets ripped out from under you and you fall over and you have to rebuild. I've had a lot of those moments in my life, so that's why I call them that and why I understand what I'm saying. Like for me, my first divorce was a tower moment. But I knew I didn't belong there. And I was staying stuck there anyway, being treated poorly, knowing I deserved better than that. Because that was a big lesson for me too, is learning not to stay where I don't belong. When I know that I'm not being treated respectfully or the way that I deserve to be treated, I would still stay there anyway. And I've learned now that I'm not doing that anymore because I know, number one, I deserve to be treated better. Number two, if I do stay, the universe is going to move me and it's not going to be pleasant. So it's much, much better and easier for me if I just move myself. So you may find that you are feeling that way in certain areas of your life. It might be in a marriage, it might be in a job, it could be in certain relationships with friends and family, people you have to move away from, or habits. It could be habits too. Maybe you procrastinate, or that you're not doing what you should be doing, but you keep doing it anyway because change is scary. Change is hard. It doesn't come easily, and we don't really know what's going to happen if we change. Sometimes we might tell ourselves, well, if I change, then people are going to not like me anymore. And the truth is, that could happen. But the people who are meant to be in your lives and are meant to be in your lives forever, those soul family people, those people will stick by you no matter what. And I know because I've been around both kinds of people. I've been around people who ended up only being fair weather friends, and I've ended up being around people who stick it out with you through the absolute worst. And who wants a fair weather friend anyway? In my opinion, it's better to know what kind of person they are up front than to find that out later when you really need them and they're not there. So we've talked about this before, that when you shift yourself, you change yourself, sometimes others around you change too. And they either shift with you or they shift away from you. And whatever happens, know that it's perfect because it's divinely guided. The universe divinely guides everything in your life, and what is meant to be for you won't pass you by. So if it is supposed to be a spiritual friend, they'll shift with you. You don't need to worry about that. So how can you gracefully accept change? That's what I'm going to talk about now. So number one, you need to remind yourself that change is just a part of life. It happens. You're always evolving. So change is inevitable because we can't evolve if we don't change. Okay, you can't stay the exact same person and expect to evolve. Also, you need to admit and surrender that you don't have to know everything all the time. And this is a tough one, especially for people who feel like they need to have control over their lives. You are not always going to have the answers, and that is okay. You're not always going to know how things are going to work out, when they're going to work out, what's going to happen, and that is absolutely okay. You cannot always know everything all the time. As much as we want to have control over things, when we try to step in and control, we get in our own way and we just make things worse for ourselves. So be comfortable with not knowing. Saying things like, it's fine that I don't know where, how that dream job I love, how that I'm going to get that, how it's going to come to me because I know the universe is bringing it to me. And it can be kind of difficult to be that trusting and just let go. Just be able to say, I don't know what's coming next, and I'm okay with that. I know that everything is working out perfectly for me. That's a phrase I say a lot. I know that everything is working out perfectly for me. The universe is working behind the scenes on my behalf to bring me what's for my highest good, and I don't have to know how it's going to happen. Even though my humanness wants to know, like, what's going on, I know that it's happening and things are working, and every time I'm able to do that and let go, amazing things show up in my life. So I don't know, I don't have all the answers is a perfectly good answer. Stop asking everyone else for their help and their opinion. Okay, so if you keep asking everyone else what you should do, you're going to be getting the wrong advice, okay? And I'm not insulting your best friend or your mom or whoever you go to for advice. I'm just saying that people mean well when they give us advice, but they don't have to live with the consequences of your decisions. And sometimes people simply don't know how to give you the advice that you need. They don't know what's best for you. Even if they say, I know what's best for you, they don't know what's best for you. Only you know what's best for you, because if you're tapped into your intuition and your higher self, then you should already know what to do. And you've got to really get into the habit of relying more on your own intuition, more on your own higher self. And it's not to say that we can't ever ask people for their opinions and advice, but you need to learn how to start relying more on your own. And there are some people who cannot make a decision without asking someone else for help, and that is really not going to help you. Another thing that you need to think about is when change comes, some people tend to just go inward and they just want to curl into a ball and they just want to stay in their bed and they don't want to do anything. And that is not the right reaction. Yes, if you're going through something that's difficult, you will feel those emotions, and you have to deal with them, and you do have to feel them. So taking time to feel your emotions is one thing, but staying in a place where you just don't do anything, that's not cool. It's not going to help you, and you can't stay in that pit forever. You're missing out on your life. So don't hide under the covers, go do something that's going to lift your spirits. Sometimes when we're in a funk and we just can't seem to get out of it and we feel bad about ourselves, it helps to go do something for others. Because when you look around and you see that there are others out there who are experiencing trauma that's far worse than yours, that kind of takes a little bit of our humanness away. It's like we realize that we're connected to everyone and we can help others. It takes us out of our own head, really, by seeing that, even though this happened to me and I wasn't happy about it, things could be a lot worse and things will get better. So another thing you're doing when you hide under the covers and you don't want to face the world is you're kind of playing the victim. And that's not going to help you. I understand that bad things happen. Bad things happen to everyone in one way or another. And you might be saying, well, no, this person next to me, I never see anything bad happen to them. First of all, you're not on the same journey. Maybe you wanted to learn a lot faster than that person. So when we want to elevate and grow quickly, things happen to us. We have to experience things, because if we were just happy and comfortable in la la land all the time, we wouldn't be experiencing growth. So don't compare yourself to anyone else and don't play the victim, because it's not going to get you anywhere. Even if you walk around and say, woe is me, I've had bad things happen. Okay, yeah, we all have, and I'm not trying to be mean at all when I say this, but you have to suck it up, because staying in that victim mindset and being like, it's not fair, and that's not going to do one bit of good for you, not at all. It's just going to keep you stuck in that space, which is a miserable place to be. And then you're going to miss out on all the really awesome things that life has to offer you. Another thing that you can do is to, maybe change other things about yourself to go along with the change. You can reorganize your space, go get a new outfit, get a haircut, do something that's going to make you feel a little better. The other thing that you need to do is to make sure that you're doing things that will help you, like doing meditations, doing tappings. I say that a lot on here, and you're like, yeah, you always say that, but it's true. Tappings do help, and meditations do help. My daughter, has been going through things, and we went to see a specialist the other day, and she was telling her, you've got to do some meditations. Even though terrible things have happened in your life, you've got to take yourself out of that victim mentality, and you've got to start doing things to work on your own internal pain. And you can't keep dragging yourself into the past, and you can't keep making it about this other person, and you can't keep making it about your dad and what your dad did. You've got to look at yourself and heal yourself. And she was right. It was kind of harsh words to say to a 17-year-old who didn't really understand what she was saying. But she was right in saying that, in that we cannot externalize everything and put everything on someone else and say, it's your fault, it's this person's fault, it's not my fault. At some point, we have to start taking responsibility. And if things happen to you that were out of your control, that sucks. And I'm sorry that happened to you. But also, we can't keep playing the victim. And I could sit here and tell you that, things happened to me in my childhood, and I needed to get over it, and it wasn't fair, and I had to deal with it. it does not matter. I can't use things happened to me in my childhood as an excuse for the rest of my life. And I keep trying to tell my children that, because they keep saying like, but this happened. It doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter. It happened, and you have to pick yourself up and dust yourself off, and you have to heal it yourself. You may not be responsible for things that happened to you growing up or things that have happened to you that other people did, but you're 100% responsible for healing it yourself when it does happen. And that's part of the process. That's part of the journey. Part of the journey is learning how to heal ourselves from situations that we didn't have any control over. And I feel that there are a lot of people who go through things in their lives that they don't have any control over, and it leaves them scarred. And it's up to them, and it's up to you, it's up to me to make sure that we're healing that stuff. Because if we don't, it's just going to affect every area of our lives. And a lot of the healing, that brings about a lot of change. And that can be scary. And a lot of people say, well, I don't want to look at the healing. I don't want to look at the change because it's just too painful. Well, I know it might be painful, but I also know it's necessary. And I know that nothing good is going to come out of your life if you spend it playing the victim and saying, I'm just not going to think about it. It doesn't work that way. Those feelings, those hurts, those everything, that doesn't go away. It just gets pushed down if you don't address it, and it's going to come out. I talk about that in my book. I talk about how we have to heal the stuff. We have to address it, because if we don't heal it, we're going to end up projecting all of the things, all of our wounds onto other people. It's like we bleed all over people who didn't cut us, and that isn't fair to anyone else. But also, I don't think that you can truly live your absolute best life without having to heal that, without having to feel the stuff that's uncomfortable. I really, truly believe that when you dig deep down and you heal those different layers, life just becomes better because it feels so much lighter. We're not dragging around all of the internal stuff with us anymore. And it's amazing how when you heal yourself, people around you tend to shift. And I got apologies from people I never expected apologies from before. And that was amazing. And I know that only happened because I took the time out to work on myself. And it's amazing how you see those kinds of shifts happening in your life. And change doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be scary. It can be exciting. If we come at it as all these great things are happening, and I don't know exactly what it's going to lead to, but I'm excited about it. I just know it's going to be a good thing. If we look at it like that, it doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. All of the change that's ever happened in my life ended up being good, even if at first I didn't think it was going to be. When I first got divorced, I didn't think divorce was going to be a good thing. It was horrible. I felt terrible. But if you read my book, then you'll see the progression and how I saw it as a chance for me to totally reinvent myself, to redesign who I was, and to be the best version of myself possible. And that's possible for you too. Out of tragedy, we can become triumphant. When we decide to use our emotions instead of feeling bad and doing, things that don't make us feel good, instead of doing that, if we decide that we're going to let it make us better, it's amazing what happens. All right, guys, well, I wanted to pull a card for you before I left. So the card that I pulled is from Colette Baron Reed's deck, Wisdom of the Oracle, and it's a change in the wind. Its essential meaning is a sense that unseen change has been initiated, preparation for a storm, awareness that your plans are not on firm ground, feeling a shift, uncertainty about which direction the winds will blow. We all yearn for certainty and resist change. It's human nature to want the world to remain constant like a zebra's stripes. Yet nothing in our experience is black and white. nor will anything remain static. The one thing we are guaranteed is change. Now is the time of transformation, as outer conditions are temporarily moving out of sync with your desires and expectations. Stay curious and remember, even storms serve to clear the air, scatter the seeds, and nourish the soil for better things ahead. Life is about to get interesting. Anticipate it with curiosity as you wonder what is coming in on the shifting winds. The unknown is where the magic lies. And the relationship message for this card is: relationships go through periods where partners seem out of sync with each other, and stormy emotions and moods threaten to take down the partnership. Perhaps someone has a change of heart and leaves. Changes offer opportunities for mutual growth, a way for you to understand your own heart better and to know what you need to make you truly happy. Rest assured that whatever is happening now, good will come from it. Take temporary shelter and remove yourself from drama. The air will clear and everything will be fresh and new again. This too shall pass. Prosperity messages: as you endeavor to create a prosperous life, you may encounter unexpected shifts that cause you to reverse directions. This is a good thing. There is nothing to fear. Perhaps an opportunity you sought went to someone else. Perhaps you pursued something that you suddenly realize is not in your highest good. You might not be 100% clear on where you need to go, but you are certain that things are not going as planned. Circumstances are not in your control right now. Wait it out. All will be well. Eventually better. Trust. All right, I love that message. So just remember, the universe has your back. Wait out whatever is happening. And also, I want to thank you for being with me. As always, if you like this podcast, please share it. Please subscribe. Please leave reviews or feedback from wherever you're listening. Stars on iTunes, that helps me out a great deal. I want to thank all of you who've done that already. Also, if you want to buy my new book, I am running a contest right now. If you buy my book and you take a picture of yourself with my book, even if you have an ebook, that's okay. You can just hold up your Kindle or iPad or whatever with the cover of my book on it. Take a picture of yourself, post it on your social media and tag me, or send me a screenshot, and I will enter you in a drawing to win a free session with me, and I will let you choose if you want a reading, a Reiki session, or a coaching session. And I'm going to select a few winners, and I will select the winners March 14th, and I will post on my Facebook page who the winners are. Don't worry, if you don't see it, I will reach out and contact people individually too. The more you post, the more chances you have to win. So if you post on Facebook, that's one entry. On Twitter, that's another entry. On Instagram, that's another. So something to think about if you bought my book. Also, don't forget to follow me on social media. I go live on Facebook Mondays at 5:30 Central, and I post videos to Instagram. I want to thank you so much for being with me. All of my information is in the description to the podcast. If you'd like to get a hold of me, you want to work with me, please don't hesitate to reach out. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will send you so many blessings and positive energy, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.